Hello, everyone. We are now going to start the webinar, and my name is Fode. I'm a project manager at Medatech UK. And today's webinar is about the contractor module implemented by Medatech group. So let's start. I will start with a PowerPoint presentation that will take you through the module. And in second, I will take you to priority and try to show you some of the main features of the module. So for your questions, you can raise your hands and I will unmute you and we can discuss your question, or you can just send it in an email, in the text on the webinar app, and I will be able to answer it at the end. First, I would like to take you to this page. This is actually me trying to show you the relationship between the modules in priority with the contractor module. Just to let you know that the module is fully integrated with the rest of the system. It all begins with a project management module that some of you might be aware of already. And the project management module is linked to the tender module, which is a priority module, which is a Medatech UK module. And the project management is also linked to supply chain, that is standard functionality. But as part of the module, the tender module is also linked to the supply chain, and the project management module is linked to the contractor module, which also linked to the financial module. This can be confusing, but we will go through it during the session and you will understand what I'm trying to show, the point I'm trying to make. So the agenda, we're not going to cover everything about the module, but I will take you through the main functionalities of it. First, I will show you how to open a project, a new project. You might know this already, but it's just to be clear that you understand what I'm trying to get to. And briefly, I will take you through the process of what the tender module do and what are the main functionalities and everything. And second, I will then open a contract. Okay, the contract is already open, but I will show you how to open a contract and what it is about, what is the contract. And fourth, we will go through application of payment. Some people call it, it's just really asking your contractor to pay you some money because you've completed the work. And last, I will show you how to create an invoice based on the application that the customer has actually accepted or approved or rejected. So the reason for opening a new project is, let's consider the new project as a quoting stage. So the intention is you will create a new project and send the price of the project to your contractor, to your customer, and they will then get back to you and you will work on it. And once you're happy with the project plan, you can then open a contract based on that. And if you are familiar with the project module, you already know that the project module have multiple versions, so the capability of having multiple versions in a project. And you can have parts that have bill of materials and resources linked to it. But you will learn more about this later. So second, I will show you the tender module briefly. This is really brief demo because it's more about contractor module than the tender module. But I will show you how the tender module work with this. And Initiate a tender to multiple vendors. I will show you how to actually create one request and send it to multiple vendors for pricing. And once you have chosen a winning quote, you can then update your project plan with that cost in order to make like price for your customer. I will show you how to open a contract. So opening a contract based on a project that you've created already. So you will create a project as a quote and you will send it to your customer. Once they're happy with it, they will get back to you and say, yeah, we've confirmed this work. So you will execute the plan. By executing the plan, you will create a contract based on that plan. And I will show you how to set up a reduction and retention on the contract. And I will not demonstrate it, but I will show you how to set up a milestone if this is something you are interested in. And let's say you've created a contract and your customer would like to add more items to it. We call this a change order. It can be a change to an existing work, or it can be an additional work. So you will create a change order. So I will show you how to do that and link it to the contract. Application of payment. We will apply for payment and we will go through the approval process and we will finalize the application of payment, and anything involved in creating the application will be covered. Invoicing, which is the last step. So I will take you through creating an invoice based on what the customer has approved. Okay. So if we then switch to priority for now, this is the main page of priority that if you are not a customer already, you might not know. If you are a customer already, this is the main page. At the top, we have all the menu, and here we have like preferred items that I've added to my home page. We will start by going to the project module form. This is the form, and what I'm doing now, I will search for one project that I've created, and I will take you through the process. So I'm searching for the customer number, which is this, and my project is Southampton Uni Library. So it's to do with doing the electricity for the new library of the university. So you will select your customer, you will give your project a description, and it will generate an automatic number for you, and you don't have to do nothing at this stage. So what you then do, you go to a version. Why I'm doing version is because we want to do the first quote and send it to our customer, and then they can get back to us for modification or requesting more, or maybe even a discount, like can you give us a different pricing? So in that case, you will create another version of the same thing, then have multiple versions of what you quoted the customer. What is important at this stage is you can go across and then actually say, if you have multiple versions, you can say, oh, this is the version that was executed. This is the version that we actually went for. So this is the last version. So it's really not a project at this time, it's you planning the project. So if you don't win the project, if you don't win the contract, you will just cancel the project and that's it. So it's not going to continue. This is how it is. The sub-level form is project planning, and what I'm doing here is having multiple WBS. Like, let's say it's a 3-level WBS. WBS, which stands for work breakdown structure. So the project is split into like floors, but we were not asked to actually work on second floor. So the customer specifically told us we want the code for ground floor. So ground floor, it's the upper level section, so that group everything. You will see that the price is actually accumulated there. And this one is preliminaries. Preliminaries is any paperwork that they ask us to do. So what I will do then, I will say 1 is my project in general, 1.1 is preliminaries, and 1.1.1 is preparing site paperwork and drawing. Let's say they're actually asking us to do the drawing for them. So this is one section, and you will see if you go to 1.2, you have strip out all existing lighting. So they're asking you to remove all existing electrical work. And as a subsection of that, you have strip out data cabling. Data cabling, really, this is an example that I've created for the demo. And this is the cost item. So this is where you need to define the cost, because it's the very lower level WBS. And I have door access, and then I have 1.3.1, which is door access control system material and system. So this is really a project where they're asking me to do the preliminaries, so the design of all the electrical work. And in second, they're asking me to, so I will have to remove all the existing material and electrical. And the third, I will install the lighting, the new lighting, and subcontract the door material, because I don't do that. They want a door access control, which I don't do, but I'm still doing the code for. This product number actually hold the cost. So I will start with the very top one, which might be simple, is this one. Preparing site paperwork and drawing. This product hold the cost, and what I can do is, in the bill of material, then have paperwork hours. Say this is my employee that will work on, that will design it or do the site preparation paperwork. So it will take him 4 hours at the cost of 70. So this can directly be linked to this part in the part catalog. So as soon as you select this product, it's gonna pull through the bill of material for it. So let's say what I needed was like, I need a designer to do the design, and I need someone to draft the paper and someone else to work on some other things. So you will have all those parts here, and then the total cost is 280. So for the times 4, it's gonna give you 400 or no, 280. So that's the cost at this time. So all you're doing at the beginning, you're trying to guess all the relevant costs. And you do the same thing for others, and if you don't have bill of material, you can directly put the part number, the quantity, and the cost. You can manually type the cost in or pull it through. So let's say I will move to the tender process. For tendering, you will have door access. So door access is one of the level, and door access control is what we actually need. So I don't have to do this. I just want to subcontract it. So what you do, you assign it a tender type. A tender type is by type of work. Let's say I have all my electrical subcontractors, I have all my security subcontractors, and so on and so forth. So what you have here, you will see my example was security services, lighting installation, plumbing services, and CAD designer, because I don't have CAD designers. So whenever I have a project, I can subcontract by assigning them this. So you will see all other work will be done by myself, and only this one, I actually need the cost to come from someone else. So what you do all your planning as usual. If you're using the project module already, you will be able to see this. If you want to learn more about how to do the project, we have a webinar that covers all this, how I've created all this. So what you do at the end, you go up once you're happy with all the items that you need to get the cost for, and you can say initiate. You can run this direct activation on your right hand side, which say initiate update code for subcontractor. So when you run it, it's asking you which sub-tender do you want to do. So I only have one. If I had like lighting installation, I could just run the program to raise price code for all my lighting installation tender. But in this case, it's security. And then I say, okay, it's going to give me this. So it's pulling this through based on the item that I actually assigned the sub-tender to, the tender type to. And it's saying it's on the ground floor, it's door access, and it's door access control. So you can then select everything if you want and do escape. So when you do escape, it's giving you this Windows input box here to say which contractors you want to actually create a price code with. So maybe you want to send a request for code to 10 or 3 subcontractors that you have. You can use the drilling method of priority to go to the vendor form and then search for all my 001 subcontractors. I have 3 of them. These ones are all my contractors, all my vendors or subcontractors that do security services work. And I want to send to all of them. So you then do escape. And if you are using priority already, you are familiar with the magnifying glass that show you that everything has been copied here. And if I then do okay, I have done it already, but just do that. And I will show you what happened, what just happened. Go there and vendor price code. So to know it, to make it to show you that it has actually worked, I will search by my project. So this is the reason I showed you at the beginning that everything is linked. So your project is linked to your code, and your code is linked to your purchasing and everything, and your finance is linked to your application. So it has created 3 price code for me. So before I update it, I have updated, but it would have created without the unit price. And then what you can do is, now you have 3 price codes created and ready ready to be sent to your vendors. So these codes can be sent now to your vendors and say, oh, I want to know how much it's gonna cost me for having a door access control system installed. And by the way, you can add more description here, maybe technical descriptions, and say exactly what the access door should be. Maybe fingerprints, maybe just normal code, digital code, depends. You can have all the specifications there. And let's say you want to print this and send it to subcontractors. So you can run this program, this direct activation, and maybe say mail or automatic mail, which will send it directly to the contact if you do have a contact. But I will tell you what will be sent to the email. I will show you what will be sent to the email. So this is what it's gonna send. It's gonna say request for quote to your subcontractors. It's gonna say it's for a door access control. It's under this section, and it's 1. So we want to know the unit price, if there is any discount, and the total cost. This is it. So this can be formatted as you want, the color, logo. I have my company here because I'm using a demo company and the address is really a dummy address. So you can send this straight in an email, and if they get back to you, you can use the upload direct activation, which allow you to upload tab delimited file directly here. So you can run it and attach your file that your subcontractor sent you, and it will directly update all the price for you. So in my example, it's really not needed because it's 3 lines, only 1 line that need the cost. But for you, if you had 100 or 50 lines, it's a quick way to update it. So what I did, I just came in here. I've received an email from my subcontractor telling me how much it's going to cost me, and I have entered the cost here. So you have, you will do that for all others, and then what you can do is compare. Let's say you send it to 3. You now want to compare which one gave you the best price. There are reports here that you can run that will tell you price from each one of them. So at the moment, my best price is this one. So this guy gave me the best price. So I can go back and say, oh, I will go with this. So there are more complex reports, but as I said, it's not about the tender module, so I'm not going to take you through that. But you can ask me and I will be able to send it to you in an email, exactly what it is. Next, let's say you have selected a winning quote and you actually want to give the work to the person. So you will go to your vendor price quote and you will select the winning one. Is this one? You got the best price, and you have a tick box at the top to say winning quote. So you flag it, and then you run a procedure here that says update bill of material by winning quote. What this program is doing, it's actually taking the cost of this. So I will try and run it and then show you how it works. So you will put the project, you will say which version was it. It was that version. That it's electrical security service, and this part actually holds all the cost for your electrical services. So you can analyze all your electrical work that you have subcontracted by looking at this part here. So what it will do, it will take this part and it will take the cost and then add this part in my bill of material. So if I do this and go back to project and go to my version and project planning. So this is this is it. And if you go to bill of material, you will see that the part is there and it has the price. So what it's doing is saying, oh, this is what you need. So what you can do, you can add other parts here to say, oh, we will also add quoting cost, or maybe an extra cost to it, and then it will update your item with you can see here it's saying here material cost. So you have your total material cost here, and it will also give you a unit cost. If I had 2, it would make sense, but in this case it's just 1. So the unit cost is the same as the total cost. And once you're happy, you will have to then, all you were doing at this point is finding your cost. So you then have to decide how much you want to send to the customer. So do you want to add a 10% profit or interest on it or something like that, or contribution for some people? You can do that manually here. For tenders, you can do it through contribution. So you can go to this box here and say 20%, and then run a procedure that will add 20% to all costs for tender. So that's what I've done here. So you will see it has added 20% to this price, and then gave me 481 pounds. So this is all I was doing here is getting a nice quote that I can send to my customer, and then you have reports that you can use here to send it to your to send it to your vendor. And let's say you are now happy with the quote, okay? Fully authorized, happy, and oh, we were lucky in this case, the customer didn't actually ask for re-quoting. So we sent one quote and they were happy with it and they gave us the project. So what I will do, I will flag this to say executed, and then I will go down and try to make this version how it is. You will put the version in effect. So when you put the version in effect, it means you are done with all the manipulation. Now we are going to create a contract. So when you run that, it will take everything from the version and it will put it into planning version, which is at the top. So this is actually the live version. This is the last one, the last the plan that we executed. And you can go, then you just have, that's it, to be fair. You don't have to do nothing else. So now we will go to contract. So I will copy this project number here. That we go out. We close all these ones. And I will go to my contract form. Okay. So your contract form look like this. Your contract form is really like sending an order and acknowledgement to like your customer to say that, oh, I have received the confirmation for the quote. Now we are actually going to do the work for you. So you can create a new contract, and then I will show you where the contract is linked to the project. Here you will see that my contract, the new contract, I will create it like this, and it will already be linked to the project. And so it's a contract. It's not a change order. And the maximum level is 3. What this mean really? It mean level 1 and 1.1 are just there to structure the work, and level 3 is actually the cost item. Is the line that actually have the actual cost, because preliminaries can have a lot of cost items, which is like preparing site documentation, providing design information, or doing this and that and that and that and so on. So you can have a lot of items. So my cost item is level 3, and if I go down here, you will ask me how I created this. So you will put the customer number in, and then there is a procedure here that says open contract based on project. I will run this like this. Can I run it? I have confirmed my project already, but when you run it, I can show you quickly. We'll create another example, and then I will say it's a contract. It will give me a contract number. I will say it's a 3 level, and then I will run this procedure. Username missing. Good. I'll put my username in, and I will run this procedure just to show you how we work. The project is connected to another. Good. So it will give me this. I will select the project, do this, and you can then flag everything from the top to down, or just untick it again if you want, or just select specific one. Say this contract is just for these 3. So just my preliminaries work have a different contract. Okay, maybe I did the code and I didn't get the other job, but they want me to do the preliminaries work. So you can escape and do this. And then if you go down there, it has put everything across. So that's what I did really, but just I didn't want to do the whole thing in front of you. So now this is a new project. This is the cost items. You can see it has pulled the cost through. And once you're happy with this, something very important here is how do you do the application of payment? Do you apply by percentage, by telling them I have completed 50%, or do you do it by number, by saying I have finished 0.5 quantity of this? In most cases, most of our customers do it by percentage, performance. So they will be like, I have completed 50%, instead of saying I have completed 0.5 or 0.25%. So that's what I've done here. I will go back to my contract, my initial contract. I have ticked this column, invoice by percentage. So you will see they are all ticked, which is important. So once you're done with that, there are a lot of information here, by the way, that you can put. So you can go through that another time, but like payment terms, for instance. So it's like having an order, creating an order for those of you that actually using the module now. So then one of the important things that I wanted to show you is how to define retention and reduction. So briefly, retention is anything that the customer will hold and until the end of the project they will pay you back. So this is like a guarantee for like to make sure that the work was completed as agreed, as initially agreed. This don't have to be the case in your business. You might just see retention different. You might use retention in a different scenario. Fine. And reduction is anything that they will take out of the money and not give it to you back. So you won't receive this money back. They just take it off. Maybe because they are providing electricity on site and everything, so you're giving them 2% for using their electricity. That's the most basic example I can think of. But I have seen other customers using this for main contractor discounts. Like there is a agreed main contractor discount that you give to these customers, which is like 3%. So that discount will not be given to you back. So what I've done, I've split into two. One is retention that they will give me at the end of the project. You can see I have put from payment 1 to 15. They will keep taking. And I have ticked all these ones. Some of these tick boxes are not relevant to our presentation, but the one that is really relevant is this one, not in final payment. This tells you that retention won't be taken on final payment. Why? Because you will receive your retention back on the final payment. So that's why this has been ticked. And one important thing is there is a code specific to retention that you have to select. I have done that. And all I'm doing, by the way, I'm changing view between multiple view and single view. And so 2.5% will be given to you at the end of on our last application, and 2.5 will be given to us 1 year after the project has been completed. So that's why I have done from payment 1 to 99. So I'm trying to give the maximum level of payment that we can have. And it also has to be ticked as, you might not tick it for this, or you might tick it. Yeah, you might tick it for not in final payment, depending on how you deal with your customer, but you have the option. And 3% is reduction services. So 3% will be taken from all payments and will not be given to me back. They will not give me that money back. So I have assigned reduction to it. And you have other sub-level forms that are like similar and they almost appear, they are almost the same on all other priority forms. So you can have a look at them if you do have the module. Contractor discounts, yeah, you can apply discounts if you do have. And milestones. So I haven't defined milestone here, but briefly what milestone will give you is you will be able to define percentages by milestone. So let's say we will have 4 applications. Our first application will be 25%, the second one will be 25%, and for 25%, 100%. So when you do the application of payment, you can say this is milestone 1, and it will automatically assign 25% performance to all the activity and send an application to your customer to say, oh, we have completed 25% of the contract. Can you pay us this money? That's what milestone is. So instead of like calculating yourself and apply for 10%, for 50%, and instead of using combination of percentages, is setting up milestone and saying like, at this time we will finish 25%. So that's what we're applying for. This is fixed. But you can't use the combination. You cannot use the combination of both methods. You have to use one, either milestone or performances. In my case, I have tried to use performances just because that's it's more complex than milestone. Milestone is quite straightforward. So, so my retention, all defined, everything defined. Once you're happy, you will just change the order status to confirmed. Confirmed means now you can start. You can start the work for now. And what will happen? You will start the work. I think what I want to show you is, let's say you have created this. You now want to send it to your customer as acknowledgement order. Like when you receive an order, you want to tell them, oh, if you receive an order and this is your order number. So this is your contract number. You have a report here that you can print. I will go for the standard one and see what we have there. Yeah, so it's something like this, really. Simple, it's really as other report. If you have any complex or specific report, we will be able to design it for you or readapt this report to meet your needs. But this is what it is. It's telling me ground floor, and these are the headings. So headings is preliminaries, strip out work, door access, and new lighting installation. So that's the price that we've sent them, if you remember, from the project. And there is no discount, so it's the same amount is repeating everywhere. And you have your total. This customer is actually out of state, so there is no VAT. Yeah, this is just a printout that you can send to your customers, and you can send it to them directly using the direct activation, and it will go to their email. Let's say we have now created the contract and we are happy, so we can do an application of payment. I could do it straight away from there, but just to use the menu, I will show you. I have added it already on here. So progress payment, some people call it. So you will come in and then put your contract as the order, like this. And you will see that I already have, my first application is as follows. What I did, I put my order number here, everything loaded for me, and go down, and then everything will come like this as 0. So on this application, I'm telling my customer that I have finished 10% of paper site work, and I have finished already 70% of strip out. So people that were actually removing the cable, they were very quick, they finished 70%, and then 80% of removing all the sockets and everything. So all the electrical plugs and everything. So now it's telling you at this point, because this is what will happen. We want to see our customer approving 100%. Okay, and then it's just you only define the performance on cost item. Though you can define it on preliminaries, but I wouldn't, because actually we are charging them for the work done. Okay, so you will assign 10% here, and so providing site material, we haven't provided any material yet, so there is no percentage there, but you can put 100% and 70% and this percent. So what it's actually doing is taking 70% of the whole amount and telling the customer, this is what we want, you see? So 70% of 240, we want to invoice you for this money. And asking the customer, are you happy to pay this? And the customer might go back to you and say, no, I'm actually paying 60%. How to do that? And then you will see at the bottom, what is very important to know here is the system is automatically calculating how much retention will be on this claim. So if you're claiming this amount, X amount, this is actually the 2.5% that will be taken, and this is the other 2.5%, and this is the 3% of the total amount. So the system is calculating that for you. You don't have to do it. And once you're happy, you finalize it, and then you can print this one, print application for payment. When you print the application of payment, I could send it to an email, but now we can review it ourselves. This is how it look like. It's telling the customer this is our first application, and we've completed 10% of this work, which is £40. So claim in this application, I had like an issue there, so that's not coming out. And 70% of this, which is here, and 80% of this one, which is this. Okay. So once you're happy with this, by the way, this one is including how we call it, retention and reduction. And here you have a more breakdown structure of what. So this is the total amount of the project. This is any variation. Variation is change orders. And this is the total for the contract. This is the progress. And yeah, these ones are really like what you applied for before, what is the retention, and what is the reduction, plus VAT, without VAT, and all these things. So they will have a look at that, and they will get back to you, and they can be, okay, we're happy to pay that. Go on, do the invoice. Happy days, you just do the invoice. If not, you have to then go through the approval process. So the approval process, I will quickly show you. The module is too big, guys, by the way. So if I have to go through everything, it will take us time. So I will just try to be quick to not take much of your time, your precious time. What to do? What I want to do. Good. I'll go to contract and update progress payment according to approved. Okay. So when you run this, you will just put the application that you're doing, and you say, okay. Okay. I think I've done that before. So it's not letting me do it again. Can I use the other one? Okay, good. So guys, what I've done there, I will go back and show you that, because I ran it before, so you can't actually see it now. So this one, final one, they will approve it. I will show you how to do the approval process. But let's say he got back to me, the customer, and he said, oh, this 10%, fine, we are happy with that. This one, fine, we are happy with it. This one, no, we are not happy with it. So you see, we don't have 100% approved. They've actually approved 85% of the 100% of what we applied for. So which means they've actually approved 60% of the 70%. So we say 70, they say no, 60. So it's doing the equivalent of 60% in a 100% basis. Sorry about the math. That's what it's doing, and here they have approved 100%. So what it's doing, it's actually saying we've applied for this amount, but they only approved this. See, so they want to pay us 284 and 94. Sorry. So you see, I have it at the top here again. So I don't even have to show you there. Approved amount, this, and then what we applied for was this. So what I'm expecting, I would invoice them for this amount. For this amount, not this. So when you raise your invoice, it'll take you there. You will see that the invoice actually, what the invoice is doing, the calculation is a little bit different. So it's applying, it's adding as you applied for, so all the amounts. And at the top here, it's actually removing £22 from the amount, because this is what they refuse to pay. They say, we know that you have applied for this one, but we're only gonna pay you this minus this. So, which give you this. This will not be shown to your customer. This is just for your calculation and everything. What you will send to your customer is this. Oh, don't want to do that. I want to print. So you will print in one line. You can print multiple lines, but you can print one line per document. because you're applying for the whole amount. So yeah, it will show them this. So setup, I haven't set up this, but this will actually show you, it will tell you like, this is the amount that wasn't approved, and this is what was actually sent, and you only say this minus this, so it gives you this total. So you all will be aware of that. Your 100% of what you sent wasn't approved. That's why you have the negative amount. If you don't want this, this can be hidden very easily. So that's your invoicing. I will go back and show you. Let's say, yeah, we will use this one. This is one of the application again, it's the same project. I don't know if I have done the invoicing for this, but if I haven't, I will show you how to do it. Yeah, haven't. So I'm putting that value there. It's giving me the item below, and then I can just finalize it. So yeah, and the amount is different. This time is this one. I will show you how I did this. We go back again. Sorry guys. Good. So if you remember previously I applied and they only approved 60%. Okay, so when you do this now and you run it and you see close Andre, yeah, and you have an option here that tell you approved previously. Okay, so I applied for 70 and they only approved 60. Yes or no? Yeah. So yeah, this is it. I applied for 80, they approved the 80. I applied for this one I applied for 60. They only approved 60 previously. So now I'm applying for the same thing. So 70, I'm leaving 70 in there. So there is 10% that they didn't pay us last time. So I can send them that again because that has been completed. So it will come through again. So this one, I said 80 before. So now I'm telling them 100. So I have completed this. So we expect the other 20% and 10% from this to be sent to the customer. So all you have to do is put something in your performance. Say like I have finished completed. Maybe you can say this one 80 if you want, or something like that. And then when you do that, it calculates this one for you straight away, how much they owe you. I will leave it at 70 as it is, and then yeah. And then you run this program and you go back. I want to cancel it. So that's, to be fair, that's your approval process. It's very straightforward. You just go through the procedure and you put percentages in. So the more important thing is you have a sub-level form here that tell you exactly what happened. So in this time, you can see that they actually approved 100% of everything we actually applied for. So 70 and this one, and then it's this is giving you this amount. But in here, it's telling you, of course you applied for 70 last time. Claim is 0 because you're not claiming this now. You claim this in the previous application, but they didn't accept it. And then, yeah, so this plus the 10% is giving you 53. So that's what we're invoicing. And here, we do the invoice now. So I can go back, select it, go to invoicing, and invoice the amount, and then everything come on. It load everything for you because you applied for it, so there is no checking in this case, and then I approve it. So you will see that my invoice actually got the 53%. So this is 20% plus 10%. Okay, briefly, this is the module from having a code to a contract, and so on and so forth. You on the project, by the way, you can do purchasing, but that's really not the contractor module. That's standard project where you can directly do purchase orders. By the way, the winning code that we did at the beginning, you can directly open purchase order from that. That's also standard priority. It's not part of the module. So if there is a lot of missing functionality, missing stuff that I haven't covered, is because they are not part of the module. They are part of standard priority. So you can be able to do it. Thanks for listening, guys. And I will now go through the questions. So Joseph, I have seen your question. I will actually, because you actually I need to give you more information about this, so I will send you an email about your question, and your prospect will actually see how this can help them in what they do. Is there any other question that someone want to ask? Maybe something specific that they're looking for that I haven't covered? Please feel free to ask. If not, you can still email me or Labilia Pelling, and we will be able to get back to you. Thanks.